This video will give you a quick tour of the graphical user interface of STAR-CCM+, otherwise known as GUI or GUI. The screen is divided into four main regions. The first one is the Explorer pane. The second one is the Properties window. The third one is the Output window. The fourth one is the Graphics window. On the top you also have various title bars, the menu bar, as well as what we call toolbars. Let's look into the Explorer pane, the Properties, Output and Graphics windows in more details. The Explorer pane is typically docked on the left of the workspace and holds servers, STAR-CCM+ servers on the network, and simulation windows. Each window type holds a tree view and sometimes a status bar of some kind. There are general rules for navigating the trees, such as opening and closing nodes, that apply to all the trees, and also general rules for using the windows. The tabs near the top of the simulation window allow you to toggle among views of simulation objects, scene or plot objects, or editing panels when applicable. For example, here I have a scalar scene open and I can view specifically its properties. Those properties could also be found further down in the tree. The STAR-CCM+ user interface is highly object-oriented, with objects representing various aspects of a simulation, and with most objects having properties that you can set as required for your particular problem. The objects are presented as nodes on the tree view, and properties are presented in a spreadsheet-like view tightly linked to the selected node in the tree. For example, we can see in this instance that our region has several boundaries, that the inlet boundary condition is defined with a constant velocity profile. This is done by opening the various nodes of the object tree. After opening many different nodes in the object tree and navigating among them for a while, closing everything can clarify your overall view of the simulation. You can use a single menu action to shrink the tree back to its default size. Right-click the simulation node at the root of the object tree and select Collapse Tree from the pop-up menu. The Properties window is a single location where all the properties for a selected object can be viewed and manipulated. It is designed for easy navigation with the mouse or the keyboard and includes a description area at the bottom of the window. For example, this is where previously we could have seen that the velocity magnitude was set to 10 meters per second. If you lose the Properties window, which can happen if you click inadvertently, you can find it back in the Window pull-down menu. You can then restore it, and for that matter you can also restore from here any other windows which you may have misplaced. The Output window gives a precise text description of all developments within the simulation. This output can be saved to a file and handled like a text document in other ways. You can save the contents of the output window in a standard text file. You can just right-click in the window and select Save As. You can work with the output text just as you would with a text document. In fact, you can just, for example, search for a search term in the text by right-clicking in the window and select Find from the pop-up menu. So for example, here I'm looking for a license. The Graphics window can contain graphics windows and/or plot windows. Those are powerful tools that let you view developments in the simulation in real time, as well as plot data. The scenes in STAR-CCM+ always display an up-to-date view of the server objects. When the simulation runs and the solution changes, all the objects that are viewed in the GUI are updated to reflect the new values. This is also applicable to plots. This feature is valuable for monitoring the progress of a solution and being able to make corrections to the settings and conditions to allow you to get a faster solution. For example, here I can change the velocity magnitude from 10 meters per second to 11 meters per second on the fly. Using the left mouse button, you can drag the tab of one of the displays in the direction where you want it to appear. For example, I can drag the scalar scene to the left of the residuals plot. This makes up what is called a layout, and then you can store layouts to reuse the standard display in other simulations. Finally, let's have a quick look at the toolbars. The toolbars are typical of GUI-based applications, and they provide easy access to the most common actions. So for example, here we can see the little icons to initialize, iterate, or run the case. If you wanted to always have the Fire and Smoke wizard accessible as a toolbar, for example, which it isn't by default, you can click on Window, Toolbars, Customize, and search for the Fire and Smoke wizard toolbar, then simply drag and drop it in the visible toolbars in the main STAR-CCM Plus session. This completes the overview of the STAR-CCM Plus GUI, and thank you for watching.